All right, ladies and gents, we are joined now on the Go Long podcast by, I don't use this lightly. I know we like to blow some smoke up our guests, you know what, but this man right here, Jarrett Bush, was an absolute joy to cover when I was on the Green Bay Packers beat. There was a magnetic pull to his locker when we're just kind of slumming around in there because, Jarrett, I mean, you always had something insightful to say. You were willing and just you wanted to talk. You know what I mean? It was just,
yeah.
I think it's just your personality. You're just such an engaging dude, but also beyond that, just being a good person. I'm not sure I've ever met somebody in football who squeezed as much out of your, God-given ability and your talents than you did. I mean, nobody worked harder than Jarrett Bush at 1265 Lombardi. So I think he kind of left a legacy there. But anyways, Jarrett Bush, longtime Green Bay Packers, special teams ace, DB, a lot of moments to get into. Pleasure to have you here.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, Tyler. Yeah.
How's life? Where are you at these days?
So, yeah, I'm still in Green Bay, and she met a pretty girl, man, and I think she loves me, so here I am. Yeah.
Wow. So a local right there in Green Bay, and then decided to put the roots down.
Yeah. Man, it's easy here, man. The schools, hospitals, the people here, right? You don't have to drive very far. You got Milwaukee, you got Chicago, in close distance proximity to you. And, it's a family town. It's safe. You don't have to worry about any riffraff going on. I got my kids, the kids go outside, play. I don't have to worry about anything happening to them because the neighbors kind of self-police. Life is good, man. Except for the cold. That's the only thing I will say. But I did get into skiing. Skiing has been another joy to kind of get into after football, right? I don't have to worry about any injuries or anything. So skiing has definitely been another part of my life, going up to the mountain.
I like it. Honestly, I've told you this. I could have lived in Green Bay, Wisconsin the rest of my life, too. The people are amazing. You got everything you want there, obviously, but you're interesting, Jarrett, because earlier in your career, you were the whipping boy for these fans, these locals. I mean, you were an easy target. You're the nickel DB, so the spotlight's on you. And then I guess winning the Super Bowl will do it. Catching an interception in the Super Bowl will do it. At some point, you became this beloved Green Bay Packer, and they love you out there now, and you decide to live in Green Bay the rest of your life. So how do you go from point A to point B?
That's a good question. Well, when I first retired, I really myself living in Green Bay. But then as I lived in certain areas, so I lived in Chicago for 2 years. I lived in Arizona for 2 years. And I knew I didn't want to go back home just because I didn't want to go back home for whatever reason. And something just kept calling me here. I don't know what it was. You can say it was a spirit. You can say it was just my gut instinct. And I think it just allowed me to just kind of slow down. You know what I'm saying? Because I think some of the bigger cities you can get caught up in a lot of stuff and distractions from your real goals. And I think just the networking. I think the people, the organization, the networking that I developed in my playing career was really pivotal, and just understanding that network was going to allow me to again increase and catapult me with the pedestal that I already had being a former NFL player. I look forward to so I got a TV show with Burt Griffin. I'm not sure you ran into him in the locker room. So we do Locker Room Live, and hopefully one day I can stand up on ESPN and get lock in a contract. I think I would love to do that and just talk green, go forward, just talk football in general. Kind of just break it down and go that route there, and as well as just have the flexibility to take care of my 2 little girls.
It's a lot of work right there.
I always love it when you guys join the dark side too, right? But you were born for it though. You were always a charismatic dude who liked to talk ball. I think you've always had that in you.
The dark side. Wait, did I join the dark side?
You joined the dark side.
Was I ever on the good side as a front office member? Or was I?
You were a normal human being.
I was always on the dark side.
Yeah, as a front office, you're always on the dark side.
Okay, that's what I wanted. You led me right into my next question. So you're undrafted coming out. Say Green Bay, gives you your opportunity. Did you ever know this, like the guys that scouted you, the front office, like the Gutekunst was probably director. Gutekunst is probably a Southeast scout back then.
Right.
Now he's the
yeah.
GM, yeah. But did you ever know much about the scouts or the front office guys? Not really.
Yeah, I did. You would hear through the grapevine. You hear, oh, for instance, like player development people, or you would hear some scouts, and they would kind of chirp in your ear like, "Hey." So Ted Thompson was the guy who was the GM when I played.
Right.
God rest
No
his
doubt.
soul. But I found out through the grapevine that he was an undrafted player himself. When they said that, I was like, I got a shot. Because he understands. He understands the work ethic. He understands when the chips are stacked against you. He understands the politics. He understands the opportunities are limited when you're undrafted because your investment is smaller. So you're not the pretty rose that they're trying to care for and trying to cultivate. You know, you're kind of like this flower over here where it's like, okay, if you grow, great, but if you don't, we're okay either way. You know, so
it's almost better. People don't understand this. I don't know if you did when you were coming out, but it's almost better to be undrafted than to be a 6th or a 7th round pick sometimes. Because
although the team he picked though gave up on him, right? Carolina.
Oh, first team was Carolina. That's right. It was Carolina. My fault. That was my fault.
I mean, you're right though.
Green Bay, they claimed you off waivers, didn't they? Didn't Green Bay yeah?
I think they tried to hide me on practice squad from what I heard from the coaching staff and my agent time. And I guess I didn't clear waivers. I guess Green Bay did their homework and they
that's the preseason.
The preseason, and they're like, "Hey, we think this is the guy that can help us." Yeah, and so I got picked up. I had no idea where I was going when I got on the plane to Green Bay, Wisconsin, but they had a professional football team. That was it, and so I went.
Now you live there. That's life. That's football right there.
Right?
It's definitely
uncertainty, right?
Uncertainty,
and being comfortable in that uncertainty. Right, I think a lot of people, right, can make people tremble, but I think it was a thrill. I mean, I had my dream job playing NFL football, and so right when there's uncertainty and you still have enthusiasm for your job, I mean, there was no fear there.
So where did that comfortability and uncertainty really come from for you, Jarrett? Because I mean, for people who don't know, I mean, Jarrett Bush was the guy at training camp when everybody was walking back or biking back to the locker room. I still remember you putting that weighted vest on, right? Just backpedaling, doing drills out on your own, just drenched with sweat. I mean, this is every day. This is as early as the two-a-day era. I think you're on for those 2 days as well. But
yeah,
my God, you poured your blood, your sweat, your tears into this thing more than anybody that I saw at camp. So where does that really come from for you? Like, what motivated you? What are the roots of that?
Well, I think just the drive. I think it comes from just maybe my childhood, just being the younger brother, always trying to outshine my older brother. He ended up being a doctor, right? He's a PhD, and so he's Dr. Bush. And I wasn't a big school guy, but I was like, I got to find some way somehow to outshine him because he was the brainiac. And on top of those layers, I think I just really wanted to succeed in NFL football. Just seeing, Deion, Jerry Rice, Emmett, some of the guys I used to emulate, idols, right? And my high school football, we didn't win much. And when I ran track and field, we won a ton. So I was like, man, what's the deal? Like, what's going on here? Why is it track and field? We're like state, right? Top 5 in the state in football, like we're here. And I think I just had something to prove. I was like, man, I can play. I know I can play. I had the self-belief that I knew I can play at the D1 level. And once I got at the D1 level, I was like, let's up the ante and see what the NFL prospect looked like. And there was some awe factor, right, when you step into that room, right, seeing Steve Smith and John Fox and Pepper. But at the same time, you have that kind of goes by the wayside. I'm like, man, job. I'm here today. I'm Jarrett Bush. Nice to meet you. I'm 6 foot. Yeah, I run about 4'3", 4'2". You know what I'm saying? So, I went to Utah State, this and that and the third, but I'm here to stay. And I have my foot in the door. What they say, once you get a foot in the door, you try to slide your body in there, you know? So,
Right.
That's what you did. I mean, take us through the interception in the Super Bowl. You know,
yeah.
it's probably the play that defined your career, right? I mean, that's the one that maybe we'll be seeing for years, for decades. And if you don't pick off Ben Roethlisberger in that moment, I don't know if the Packers win that Super Bowl. So what did you see? How did that go down?
Yeah, man. So I saw that play on film, right? I saw that play maybe about a week ago. I was like, man, this seems like a routine throw. Like, he is just empty, right? No running backs in the backfield. It went receiver, tight end, Heath Miller, and then went running back, receiver. And it's just a routine third down. I kept seeing it pop up after game after game after game in the same area of the field, like maybe like the 40 and the 40, you know. And it seemed just very routine. And it's Mike Wallace. Wallace was, and you know, you have the DB trailing against Mike Wallace. It's so fast. And so I was sitting in the middle as the dime back, and Dom Capers calls a fire zone. It allows me to play the 3 receiver hook, which basically I play like a linebacker, just playing any low route. And I missed it during practice. I was pissed. I'm not gonna lie. I missed it, and A-Rod was throwing it, and I got so enthusiastic about it. Doggone it, like I missed it. But I was like, you know what? Hey, Jared, in the game, if they come out, I remember when they came out, I was like, this is it. This is it. And with preparation, all that fear went away, which is crazy. And I remember Dom Capers really always talked about, like, the more over prepared you were, the more confident you became on the football field. And that held true. And I saw that formation come out as they trickled to the line of scrimmage. I was like, this is it. All I can do is make them bait it, make them throw it, and make the play. Now, easier said than done, but I just took a few steps back, he hiked the ball, Mike come screaming across, and you're right in Ben Roethlisberger's vision, and he threw a dart, and I jumped that. The rest.
And that was shortly after Charles Woodson went down, right?
Woodson was still in at that point. He was still in at that point. I think he went down later on that quarter.
Right. Which,
yeah.
Talk about a pressure-packed moment. You lose your defensive player of the year just the year before. You know, then you're the nickel guy, right? And
Yep. I think that one of the biggest things when I was in the Super Bowl, when I made that interception, was like I was pumped up and excited, but I was like, man, it's not going to be the same if we don't win this game. Right. Like telling the story now, it's a whole lot different, right? I could be telling the same story and we lost. It's not going to have as much fun. But I was like, Jerry, you got to win this game. You got to win the game first. Like, okay, you got to pick, win the game, and then you can celebrate, you know? So I think that was the biggest thing. Like, that was our goal, right? One heartbeat, one sound, one team, one goal, right? That was our motto.
So you follow the team closely. Obviously, you played for another 4 seasons, but what did that team really possess that, you know, the next 10, 11 teams have been chasing, right? Because I think when you won that Super Bowl, we all assumed the Packers are just going to be back in this game again and again and again. But being on that team, that defense, what do you think it was that you guys really had that maybe they're still trying to find as a team?
I think just the resilience to, you know what I'm saying? Because I think we had like 12 to 15 guys on IR at that time. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely got bit by the injury bug, and we were still playing at a really high level. A-Rod was in his prime, and right, we had a rookie running back, James Starks. We had Andrew Corliss.
That's right.
Right? He's from Buffalo, right? Andrew Corliss, because Jerry Michael Finley was on IR. I think Donald Driver got hurt. Charles Woodson got hurt. right? Ryan Grant was on IR.
That's right, Ryan Grant.
Brandon Chiller was on IR. Nick Barnett was on IR. I can go down the list. I think Colin was
Morgan
still
Burnett.
Morgan Burnett. He tore his ACL. So I think this is the resilience, and you gotta give credit to the front office. There you go. There's the good side. There you go. The good side. The front office, they brought in guys off the street that could play. They
Green
brought
Bay's
the
always
guys.
been one of the better teams. I always felt like with undrafted or picking guys like you off preseason, team was going to try to stash you on the P squad. Nope, we'll take you. They were good like that.
Right.
So they're prepared for injuries. It's good that you notice that though, because it's a sign of a good front office when you don't skip a beat and continue to for your goal.
Correct.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And good guys too. Not only could they play, they were good guys. So yeah, give them a lot of credit for their evaluation process and as well as their character. So
Matters.
Yeah,
it matters.
Top notch.
Jarrett, can you just flip your camera by chance? You're upside down to us. There we go. Perfect.
I feel like I started to go like that.
So most people are listening, but so you're watching, you're analyzing the current team. Is all right in the world, or with the Bears are rebuilding? Obviously, they're not trying to really win.
Rebuilding now for too long. You got at some point the Bears aren't rebuilding. They stink. I just got done watching them again. And let me take that back. To your point though.
Yeah.
Like they need. I mean, there is rebuilding, and there is can they just get out of their own way?
Right.
But go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, if I can piggyback off that, when's the rebuilding process going to end? And when are you going to continue to be a Super Bowl contending team? I think one formula I think you have to look back at was when they had Devin Hester as a rookie with Rex Grossman.
They beat us. I was with the Saints.
That's right.
They beat us in the NFC in 2006.
Right. And so I thought they were a good team, man. You got Devin Hester. He ran it back, I think, for the kickoff that Super Bowl game. Rex Grossman, he wasn't the best quarterback, but he was an effective quarterback. I think Brian Urlacher, I think he was at his prime. Lance Briggs, some of those guys. Pat Tillman. I think that was a great recipe for success. I'm not sure now, if they're emulating that or who's in charge or who's pulling the triggers or who's doing the evaluation process. So,
it says a lot right there when you say you don't even know. It tells you a lot because they've been switching around and trying. They don't know.
Right.
Should Green Bay be concerned though? I mean, that was a rough opener. Life without Devontae Adams is going to take a little while to sort out. Where do you see the Packers right now in that never-ending quest to get over the hump?
I think they'll be okay. I think they got a young receiving core that, frankly, is wide-eyed and googly-eyed, probably a little scared because they're rookies. Let's be frank. When you're a rookie coming to the NFL, you're a little scared. You're a little nervous. You're like, man, I do not want to mess up. I do not want to be the guy who, ruins the game or this and that. They're just trying to skate by, trying to make sure they do good. And I was talking to Antonio Freeman at the alumni game, and he was saying that they just seem like robots out there. They seem like robots because they're listening to what the receiver coach is saying, not what A-Rod is saying, and they're not able to improvise a little bit. And that dawned upon me. I was like, that sounds about right because they're doing everything what the coach is telling them to do instead of playing football. Right? If you're at the park, you're playing football. But the fact that you got a coach and you got so much investment, you're going to do everything the coach tells you. But the moment that they relax and they understand to let their talents take over and stop being so robotic is the day I think they're going to hang 55 on a team. Now, it's going to take time. It's going to take A-Rod to kind of get into him a little bit. The receivers coach, right? They got to mold him a little bit and for them to get comfortable. I think that's just going to take time. I say it's going to take a whole year. They might start to get it within that year, but it's going to at least take 2.
I can still remember talking to one of the young wide receivers on one of your teams. Maybe, yeah, you would have been on this team. And he said that Edgar Bennett was the wide receivers coach, and that Edgar at one point just told him, all right, do whatever Aaron says. Like he told it like the route to run within a play, and the receiver was doing it, and Aaron got pissed off and said, "No, I want you to run it this way." And Edgar's just like, "All right, whatever he says, just go do it." So it's like he struck that balance with the Jordy Nelsons and the Randall Cobbs and Devontae Adams, obviously, where they could just street ball it out there. I don't know if you can street ball with the young receivers though. That's where I kind of can empathize with being a robot. It's like, they are so young. They don't have those built-in reps with Rodgers. And that's where it gets difficult, right? Because that's when Rodgers is at his best. You're right. Like, oh, you see what I see? Let's just audible and do whatever. But I don't know if they're going to be able to get to that point.
Well, I think everything's going to be a work in progress. I think just like all of us, I think they're asked to do a really high standard job, really demanding, in front of thousands of people. Anxiety is a thing. Nervousness is going to be a thing. But I think at the end of the day, they got to go win football games, and all that anxiety stuff, that has to go away. And frankly, if they don't want to get it done, and when A-Rod comes to him, like, hey, I need you to run this route, he's going to find somebody else who will. I guarantee that. I guarantee that. And so it's in his best interest. It's in his best interest to do what he says and catch the football. And he'll make a name for himself. They're giving out lifetime scholarships, as everybody knows, right? Devontae, they're giving out lifetime scholarships if he can go out there and catch the ball.
I'm going to tell you who I know personally, and Tyler does a little bit. We covered this player, and I guarantee you he knows where to go, and he will catch the football. Is Sammy Watkins.
Yeah.
He won't. He's not talented enough now to dominate, on pure talent, but he can certainly play a good role for them. And I thought that showed last night. It was good to see him get involved. But he does not drop the ball. Or I shouldn't let me say it. They all drop him, but you can count. That would be a rare thing. You can count.
Yeah, and Sammy Watkins, he's a savvy veteran that you definitely want on your team. I'm not sure if he can pick him up and put him down like he used to, but he definitely is effective. Knowing how to find holes and manipulate the defense. If a DB, if he stacks on top of a receiver, he still is dangerous. And I think that was a wise move by the front office to go ahead and make that move to bring in a savvy veteran to kind of teach some of the young bucks the ropes.
Are there any corner safeties you just love watching right now on any team? Is there anybody that you're like, man? Or even on Green Bay?
I like seeing Jair.
That's a.
I like seeing Jalen Ramsey. I don't like when he's playing undisciplined. I think
we can have a whole Jalen Ramsey conversation.
like when he's good, he's really good. But right now, at the beginning of the season, he's not very good. Xavier Bauman, he's a decent corner down in down in Miami. I think there's a corner in Atlanta, number 24.
Terrell's good.
Yeah, he's solid.
Terrell. And I want to see this kid Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, I like the way he looks. I agree with you. I want to see him on tape a little more.
Yeah,
he looks the part.
Yeah, he does. I mean, his name like Sauce.
You got everything going for you. You got the name, the look. Now you just got to play. You make a play, you're good now.
I'm telling you.
Deion Sanders says, "Look good, play good."
That's right.
Yeah, I like also Buda Baker.
Oh yeah,
Buda Baker, he's a small cat. Who else?
Yeah, but you definitely pay attention though. It's because I was curious to see if you have time to even watch some guys, or just watch football in general. Yeah.
Right. So coaching high school, I'm always trying to find. So they get tired hearing my voice sometimes.
Right.
Yeah. And even me playing in the NFL, they get tired hearing my voice. So I'm like, you know what, Jerry, you gotta find another way to kind of get it through the heads that playing discipline is cool. Because out there, they don't think disciplined football is cool. They want to wear the swag and wear the wristband, but then they just want to do what they want to do. Wait a minute. But if you do what you want to do, we're not gonna win any football games. You're not gonna win any girls. You know what I'm saying? So, and every 14-year-old boy is gonna want the girl, right? And so that's my motivation. I'm like, hey man, You want to get the picks? This is what you got to do. The picks get the girls. The pick sixes get the girls. The sack fumbles, scoop and score get the girls. And so I get examples of NFL players doing it right. So they're like, oh man, that's cool. And so it's like, see what I'm telling you? Like, now try it. And then they try it, and it's like, oh, okay. So I'm really trying. It really challenges me as a coach to kind of, you know, stretch my thinking. Like, how can I teach it a different way versus me just, you know, reiterating or echoing the same thing over and over again.
The reason veterans extend their careers is because you guys know what you're doing. But when the physical talent starts to slip just a little bit, you make up for it because you know what you're doing, and you will make every team. I can't tell you how many times, every meeting, every cut down meeting we've ever had in the NFL, as soon as that coach says, no, look, he's on, like he knows everything, he's good. Like the you know, the GMs on the, you know, the skill side.
That was Jarrett. I mean,
well, that's what I was gonna say. We might be like, I don't know, he looks a step slow. You know, we think he might be the coach, but nope, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. He's making it. He's playing.
Right, because with that extra, when we lose the extra step, we make up for it in our cognitive ability. You know what I'm saying?
When I first started in Philadelphia, Troy Vincent, longtime corner, you know, great corner, drafted high corner.
Yep.
Made this transition to safety, brilliant. I mean, he was football brilliant. Now you see what he's doing for the league. But that's when I was a young scout, and I was like, oh, wow. I thought Troy was done, couldn't run. I'm like, wow, he just extended his career like another – just for that.
Yeah.
You tell those guys that this will take you a lot. Hey, let's keep that bank account looking all right.
Definitely. Amen.
That 40 time doesn't always keep the bank account.
It sure doesn't. It helps, but yeah.
Oh no, it might set you up for life. It might set you up for life.
No doubt. Yeah.
There was Jarrett and writing the Blood and Guts, the tight ends book. I was hanging out with Tony Gonzalez. He definitely remembered 2013 when he was with Atlanta. Jarrett got in his head. He had the game-winning breakup on Gonzalez, and I remember you jawing in his ear and letting him hear it. So like right to the end, you were making plays in the snow.
No doubt,
I think,
no
right?
doubt, no doubt. Hey, I'm never gonna lose that competitive spirit. I mean, especially against that Hall of Famer. Especially against especially against the Hall of Famer, you definitely want to rise up to the top and play your best. And so when I was like, 24, you get 20 because I was like, oh man, that's such a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
I was like, let's go. I get the Hall of Famer. I was like, yeah, he's not gonna catch it. I'm gonna talk so much smack to him. And sure enough, yeah, man, I was like, man, stop pushing off, man. Like, come on, man. Like, it's because you D'd up. But to your point, Tyler, I think that game, 2013 and 2012, I think they came to us and they had to make the playoffs to win. If they won, they got to the playoffs. Was that the game? It was.
I think you were down to Matt Flynn. I mean, Aaron was out with his injury. I think, and it was in the snow.
Yeah, that's the one. So in 2-minute drill, Matt Ryan throws a 7 route, and I did my film study. You know what I'm saying? Just like any other savvy veteran. And I knew he was going to throw the 7 because they had to get out of bounds, right? So they did the concept 9-7-3. And just to run the 7, I forget, it was Douglas. Forget his name.
Harry Douglas was around, yeah.
What was his name?
Harry Douglas.
Harry Douglas. That was him. And he was in the number 3 spot. And he could run. And Matt Ryan threw it blind. Like, as soon as he cut, he just threw it. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's mine. And I caught it, ran to Sam Shields, and, hey, we sealed the victory that day.
Man, well, Jarrett, can't thank you enough for hopping on here. We talked a little earlier. You're coaching today. Like, how is life after football for you? And where can people find you?
Man, so, yeah, you can find me on Facebook and Twitter under Jarrett Bush or JarrettBushMotivates.com. So I do speaking engagements. I do leadership workouts. I tell my stories about just about my failures and successes, and just help motivate people if they're stuck in the rut, or they're trying to start a business, or they're just feeling deflated, or they just need like just a little motivation, kind of get over their hump of whatever they're going through. I'm the guy to call.
Be hard pressed to find a better player out there to offer those words of wisdom. Awesome to see you, man.
Yeah.
It's been too long. Thanks so much for hopping on, and let's do it again soon. Just great to see you.
Hey, I'm one call and text away, my man.
Love it.
Awesome.
I got to say, with the haircut, I thought Greg Jennings popped on real quick. I don't know if you've been getting that at all. He had the shaved side. I was wondering what was going on there.
I'm way better looking than that guy.
Agreed. Awesome, man. Be good. Thanks so much, Jarrett.
All right. Thanks again, guys.
Good luck, Jared.
See you, man.
All right, later.